Hey guys, so Speak Communications, and I just got done watching a movie called Basement Jack, as you can see the review title up here. This is a movie that's critically acclaimed, I guess, by a lot of people for, film festivals and stuff like that. And on IMDb it gets 3.8 out of 10, and I disagree with that. Basement Jack was a surprisingly decent film for me. I wasn't expecting that much from it, and, does it have its flaws? Definitely. I'll get into its flaws soon enough. But basically, the film is kind of a homage, kind of harkens back to the days of 80s slashers. And Basement Jack stands for this crazy kid. This kid named Jack Riley, played by Peter-Kaiser. What happened was, when he was young, when he was a kid, his mom basically, she fucked with his mind, played mind fuck games with him. Another killer with mommy issues, like maniac, don't go in the house, psycho, his mommy's a bitch towards him, tortures him, and her form of torture is related to electricity. So I think she electrocuted him in his tongue one time when he was a kid, some sick sadistic shit. The actress who plays the mom at points is over the top, but it worked for the role. At first I was like, oh god, shut up. Then as she went along somewhere, she creeped me out. So, she's sufficiently creepy, over the top, and nuts. Because his mom, I think, let's see if they say who plays his mom. Jack Riley. Trying to find it. Does it say who plays his mom after she played his mom? Mrs. Riley, Lynn Lowry plays his mom. She's pretty freaky in this. So Eric Peter-Kaiser's Jack Riley. He's not too bad. He's not asked to do a lot. I mean, he just stands there looking menacingly. He doesn't really, honestly, say anything. So he's one of those, type of slasher flicks. Michele Morrow, who played the main protagonist, Karen Cook, I liked her. I thought she's nice eye candy. She's nice to look at. I enjoyed her. I think she did a good job. I thought she was pretty badass for what she had to do. I liked her because she was like a good final girl, not a wimpy one. She managed to beat the shit out of Basement Jack a couple times. So the whole plot of the film is this: about 11 years before, the film starts out 11 years before modern day, where Jack Riley ends up going nuts, kills his mom, and then he ends up killing the chick's Michele Morrow, Karen Cook's, her family. And he basically find out later in the film through the story by Michele Morrow, which I really felt for her character of Karen Cook. You find out that Basement Jack Riley, was let off the hook because he was only 17 at the time when he killed all those people. That he basically was let off the hook by his lawyer, saying it was temporary insanity. He was sent to some cush mental asylum, and they released him a year before the film's current time frame. And there are a bunch of rash of murders, and it seems like they are tied into, they happen during electrical storms. Which all this, when Basement Jack goes and kills people during electrical storms, because this electricity thing is tied in with his past, with his disturbed past. His mom would torture him with electricity. When he was a kid, she would take him to a psychiatrist, the place, the hospital, and they give him electroshock therapy. So, all in all, this isn't a movie that's really there for the kills. Some of the kills are laughable. There are some pretty good. There's a good shot where he chases some guy down the stairs and stabs a knife through his head, and the blood drips down the stairs. And then there's moments where it just gets really, really cheesy, low-budget CGI that just doesn't work for me. So basically, the rest of the film is just Basement Jack trying to finish off the person he, finished what he started. He's trying to kill Karen Cook. And he's killing everyone else that's in his way as well. Whenever electricity, he basically starts killing people in places in cities where Karen Cook used to live. So you also have the police involved. There's a really good moment. I don't mind Sam Skoryna as Chris Watts, the police officer. There's an asshole, investigator dude that, because originally she gets caught at the scene of the crime and she gets arrested, Karen Cook. It's like, what? Fuck, I got a gun. These people were stabbed. What do you think, I'm the killer? It's like, it seems like it, And then there's this great moment between the police officer, Chris Watts, Sam Skoryna, and this asshole investigator dude. The asshole investigator dude is all like, you're not your father. What are you gonna do? What would your father would have done? He would have said, punch this asshole in the face. Well, you're not the father, are you? So it's like, I just wanted to punch the investigator in the face myself. It was good. The sense of humor with the cops, the camaraderie is good. The score is actually done by Alan Howarth. Alan Howarth worked with John Carpenter for the score for Halloween, the score for Halloween 3, Christine, and it's a pretty solid score for a low-budget film. It's definitely creepy, definitely works. Now when we get into the cheesy parts that don't work for me is near the end when he has this stupid blade that he hooks around his wrist. And Basement Jack, earlier he gets his ass handed in a pretty cool, sequence, short but sweet, where Karen Cook just starts beating the shit out of him with a shovel, I think. And then he shows up again, and he's all disturbed, so he starts cutting his face, because he's like, fuck, I got beat by a chick, I need to do something. Then he takes he breaks off a part of a doll mask and puts it over his face, and it looks kind of creepy. It looks pretty creepy. It looks better than what he looked like before, because before he would just look like a hobo, walking around with long hair and a beard, just like, "Rrr, rrr," just like, give me money, please. I'll work for food. We'll kill for McDonald's. But before that, then he puts on the doll mask and he goes on the rampage in the police station, and it's pathetic. It's so obviously CGI. When he cuts off the guy's top of his head and shows the brain, it is so lame and cheesy. I laugh my ass off. And there's a sequence where the knife goes through the wall, obvious CGI. Then you get the rest of the climax as lackluster. The Karen Cook grabs electrical wire, fake electricity coming out of it, shocks Basement Jack off the top of a roof, says fuck you off the top of the roof, lands on the ground, rips off the ending of Halloween where then, he's there and then disappears. You see nothing but bare grass. Then he shows up some more. He's still alive. He already stabbed her in the stomach. So she's limping around. Basement Jack comes up. Then the police officer guy comes out of nowhere. And before this police officer guy looks like he got either killed or severely injured by Basement Jack earlier, and now he is just walking around like he's just fine and okay. Has a gay looking taser gun with a yellow taser gun. I'm like, what the hell is this shit? Tasers him against the fence. Basement Jack against the fence. Then you get the secondary character I don't give a fuck about. This annoying, corny, cheesy, horrible actor. I think his name is the manager, played by Nathan Bexton. I don't think it was Nathan Bexton. I don't know who it was, but this guy was awful. He had a goatee. This guy was shitty. And he ends up basically what he does, he turns the transformer on, and that's Basement Jack gets electrocuted in a rather shitty way. And then, of course, he's not dead. We have the sequel bait ending, not explaining how the fuck he survives, because it's supposed to be just a regular human being. So, sequel bait ending, he's still alive, because they take him in the ambulance, and the last shot is the ambulance where paramedics are dead. That's the last shot of the film. And I don't know. Okay, Basement Jack isn't a movie that I recommend you check out. It depends on what you're in, what you want to watch. I mean, it was a good time waster. It wasn't the worst movie of all time. A 3.8 out of 10 is a bit too low in my opinion. I mean, it really is. So that's why I gave it about a 5. Because it's about halfway there. The score by Alan Howarth is good. I like some of the kills. I like the performance by, the girl who plays Karen Cook, Michele Morrow. I liked her. And it had some good atmosphere going for it. But all in all, the ending was just really kind of, I don't know, it was the effects that looked shitty, or just the way it was edited, or the way it was handled, just didn't work that well for me, sorry. But, other than that, it was an okay slasher, I mean, if I would give it a rating out of 4 stars, I think I give it probably about 2 stars. It's alright. Like, 5 out of 10, which is half out of 10. I mean, a 2 out of 4, which is half. So it's a fair film. It's okay. It's decent. It's a good time waster. It's not particularly too horrifying, but it has some good moments to it. The song at the end, I don't know who sings it. It's called Evergreen, and I'm going to figure out who sings it. Right now, I'm in the process of downloading the movie again, so I can rip that song, because I like that song. So, anyway, that's my review of Basement Jack, and I guess I'll check you later.